Lucas Reed never set out to become anyone's miracle. He was a single father, a quiet man with tired hands and an even more exhausted soul. After years of serving as a combat medic, he retired to a small mountain town in Colorado, where he raised his daughter, Ellie, with the kind of gentle love that never made the news, but healed wounds nonetheless. Life had carved deep lines in Lucas's face. Not from stress but from devotion. He wasn't rich, wasn't famous, but he had something the world forgot to value: presence, the ability to sit still, listen deeply, and love unconditionally. One Friday morning, everything changed with a knock. A black SUV pulled into the gravel driveway. Out stepped a man Lucas hadn't seen in over a decade. Jordan Chase, an old military brother turned high-profile security executive. The moment Jordan took off his sunglasses, Lucas knew something was wrong. "Jordan," Lucas said, stepping off the porch. "Didn't expect to see you here. You lost, or just nostalgic?" Jordan didn't smile. "I need you. Someone needs you." Lucas crossed his arms. "I've been out of the game a long time. This isn't a game." Jordan glanced at the SUV. A second later, a woman stepped out. A tall, fierce, draped in elegant black. Her presence didn't ask for attention, it commanded it. Helena Voss. Lucas recognized her face from Forbes magazine. CEO, philanthropist, tech pioneer, billionaire. And now, something else entirely. A mother on the edge. "I was told you can wake people," Helena said plainly. Lucas blinked. "I'm not a doctor, but they say you're better." He was about to protest when she stepped forward and showed him a photo from her phone. A girl, maybe 12, eyes full of light, a frozen smile. "My daughter," Helena whispered. "Arya, she's been in a coma for 13 months. Doctors say she's stable, but a broken bar absent. I've hired the best minds in medicine. Nothing." Lucas looked at the girl's photo and then into Helena's guarded eyes. "And you want me to a broken bar do what?" "Talk to her, be with her, try." Helena's voice cracked. "Just try." Lucas hesitated. "Why me?" Jordan stepped in. "Because when we were overseas, you sat for 3 straight nights beside a boy who'd been hit by shrapnel. You told him stories, talked to him like he wasn't broken, and damn if he didn't wake up. That was different." "No," Jordan said. "That was presence. That's what she needs." Lucas looked at the photo again. "I have a daughter. I can't just leave." Helena stepped closer. "Bring her." Lucas paused, then nodded. The Voss estate was nothing short of a fortress, a modern palace hidden in the hills of Northern California, complete with security drones, private doctors, and walls made of smart glass that adjusted with the sun. Lucas and Ellie, aged 10, stood at the grand entrance like visitors from another universe. Helena met them personally. "This way," she said, without preamble. They walked through halls lined with silence and wealth, past sculptured gardens and kinetic waterfalls, until they arrived at a quiet suite with double doors. Inside, Arya, the girl, lay on a bed that looked more like a cradle designed by gods. Surrounded by soft humming machines, she looked peaceful. Too peaceful. Her chest rose, fell, eyes closed, limbs still. "She fell from a horse," Helena said, quietly. "No brain trauma, just a broken bar. Never woke up." Lucas sat beside her bed, gently taking her hand. "Hi, Arya," he said, like she could hear him. "I'm Lucas. That's my daughter Ellie. We're going to be around a while. Hope that's okay." Helena looked puzzled. "You're not going to ask for her medical records, Eggs?" Lucas smiled. "I don't need papers to know when a heart is still fighting." She stared at him like he was a relic, but something inside her, something buried beneath the grief and the armor, softened. "Try." The first few days were quiet. Lucas spent hours beside Arya, reading, singing, talking. He brought books filled with wonder, music from his childhood, warm blankets that smelled of lavender and rain. Ellie colored beside him, occasionally offering her own stories to the silent girl. Lucas didn't speak like a therapist. He spoke like a friend who refused to believe you were gone. He told Arya what Ellie liked to cook, how strawberries in Colorado tasted sweeter when you picked them barefoot. He told her about the time he forgot Ellie's birthday but made it up by building her a treehouse overnight. On day 3, Arya's heart rate spiked for the first time in weeks. By day 6, her fingers twitched faintly during a lullaby. The nurses noticed, so did Helena. She watched from the door, unblinking, afraid to hope. "Do you believe she hears you?" she asked Lucas one evening. He didn't look away from Arya. "I don't need to believe it. I just need to act like it's true." Helena's walls, forged from tragedy and perfectionism, began to crumble. One night, she sat quietly in the room, watching Lucas talk about the stars. She wanted to be an astronaut, Helena whispered, almost ashamed. "I told her to focus on business." Lucas nodded slowly. "Maybe she didn't need your empire, just your attention." The words weren't cruel, they were true. And Helena didn't protest. By the second week, something impossible happened. Lucas told Arya a story about a sleeping giant who only needed the right voice to awaken. As he finished the story, her lips stayed dry and still for months. It trembled. Then, she murmured something so faint, the room stopped breathing. "Moria broken bar." The nurse dropped her tablet. Lucas leaned in. "Arya?" Her eyelids fluttered like they were trying to remember the shape of the world. She blinked, just once, then again. A cry tore from Helena's chest. She rushed to the bed. "Arya, baby, it's me, I'm here." Arya turned her head slightly. "Moma broken bar?" The machine spiked. The room erupted into ordered chaos. Nurses calling codes, doctors storming in. But Lucas stepped back. His work was done. Helena collapsed into tears, cradling her daughter, sobbing apologies between kisses. Ellie held her dad's hand. "Did you fix her?" Lucas smiled gently. "I didn't fix her, I just reminded her she wasn't forgotten." The news broke globally. Billionaire's daughter wakes from coma after 13 months. Thanks to mysterious single father. Everyone wanted to know how. Lucas refused interviews, turned down book deals. Helena, however, didn't stay silent. She credited Lucas publicly, but in private at Broken Bar she did more. One morning, she approached him in the courtyard. Arya was recovering fast, even walking a little. "You could have asked for anything," Helena said. "Money, a career. I already have what matters." She looked at him for a long time. "You taught me something no amount of money ever did." "What's that?" "That presence is more powerful than control." Lucas smiled. Arya was never gone. She just needed someone to wait. Helena hesitated, then reached for his hand. "Would you stay?" she asked. "Not as a healer." "As a broken bar, someone who reminds me how to live?" Lucas didn't answer immediately. He looked at Ellie, playing with Arya in the garden, both laughing under a sun that suddenly felt warmer. He looked back at Helena, and smiled. Thyroid closing note. What began as an impossible promise turned into an unbelievable miracle, not because of science, not even because of faith, but because a man broken but kind chose to show up, speak gently, and love without condition. And in a world filled with noise, sometimes a broken bar, that's all it takes to wake a sleeping soul.